If you're looking for a place to buy or sell your FIFA 23 Ultimate Team coins, check out u4gm.com as a reliable place to do so and use code ELYTE, E-L-Y-Y-T, for 5% off at checkout. I've built this decent squad as well as accrued over 5 million coins once I sell our last investments in FIFA 23 Ultimate Team, and we haven't spent a single penny on the game. All through trading, all through investments, and in today's video, I'm going to show you which investment methods and which trading methods have worked the best for me since the beginning of the year so that you guys with maybe smaller budgets, and even if you have a higher budget, you can still use these methods to get up in coins. I'm only going to show you guys the most efficient and most effective methods. I'm not going to go through every single trading method I've used this year, just the ones that work the best. We're going to start with a lower budget. So if you're somewhere between 10,000 and 100,000 coins, we're going to give a trading method that works for that. Then somewhere between 100,000 to 500K. And then we're going to move on to some of the more higher budget methods in this video. And if it does end up helping you guys out or you learn anything, make sure to drop a like on the video because that really helps the channel out and helps promote the videos to other viewers. So if you guys can help out in that aspect, that's all I ask in return. Let's hop in to the trading methods. Once you have a higher budget, yeah, investing in fluctuation trading are the way to go. And we're going to go in depth on those later in today's video. But let's start out with the lower budget. Let's say you have 50,000 coins. You don't want to be spending all 50K on the same investment, even if it does end up working out and waiting on that to go up, because you might come out of that investment with 60 or 70,000 coins. Even 80K would be a spectacular investment. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the return of 60% on your investment, incredible. And that's probably not going to be likely. Even if you find the perfect investment, 60% return is awesome. But here's the thing, that's only 30,000 coins, and you can make that by actively trading on the market probably much quicker than that investment would even rise, even if you found the perfect investment. So lower budget, you don't want to be investing. Now, a lot of people might say, go with the bronze pack method, and to that I say, no. I don't think the bronze pack method is that efficient at all. While it is easy and it is effective, it is slow, and I don't really like it. Also, a lot of people might just say, find a player and try to snipe the card for cheaper than what it's immediately selling for. I do this all the time, but is it the best trading method for low budget? No. The best trading method by an absolute country mile is position change trading. That is the best low budget investment that I've used this year. This is how it works. Position change modifier cards are going for like 850, maybe 900 coins on the market right now. If you search for these cards on the market, you'd be able to snipe them for maybe 800, maybe 700 if you're lucky, or get on bid. If you are new to the game, you can also save another like 4,000 coins by going to SBCs and going across and getting 5 of those cards for free. Every single day you can do this 5 times. I've already done it once, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. He's an untradeable, non-rare bronze card. Adds very little value to my club or any squad building challenge that I'll do in the future, but he does get me a card that goes for 800, 900 coins. All you got to do is you've got to find, a big nation. Let's go ahead and see which are the cheapest gold left mids from Italy that are in the game. And so we'll start at 600 coins. There's nothing there. We'll go to 700. And the cheapest one is Griffo. So we take note that we can get Griffo here for 700 coins or less, but don't immediately buy that card. You've got to check what other positions can he play. He can play center forward and he can play left wing, which is great. That's 2 different positions. So now we're going to type in his name, Vincenzo Griffo, into the search bar. We'll get rid of the quality and we'll go over to the positions that he could be changed to. So we know we can get him for 650 at left mid, but what can you get him for at left wing? Can you get him for 1900? There we go. 1900 is the cheapest Griffo on the market right now, and there's only one of them there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and buy that cheapest Griffo card on the market at 650 coins, and we're going to add him to our squad right now. And we're going to position change him to left wing. And once we position change him to left wing, we know that adds more value to the card, and it's probably going to sell to somebody trying to do a position or trying to do a marquee matchups SBC that needs an Italian at left wing. Maybe it needs a Bundesliga Italian at left wing. And that's how we're going to go ahead and make some coins on Griffo. We'll list them for 1,800 coins and make ourselves about 1,100 profit. Now, do I want to do that 7 times with Griffo? Maybe. If that first Griffo sells, I'll go back and do it again with another Griffo. But I don't want to do it with 7 different cards at the exact same time. And as you can see, there are none at center forward. But you also have to think, how often do you need a center forward for SBCs? Not that often. So instead of doing that, I'm going to go ahead and search for another card. Let's go French in the exact same position and see if we can find a player that'll work for us. So let's go French, 600 coins, and we've got a couple of options here. We've got Bamba and Honorat. So those are the 2 choices. Bamba can also play left wing, which is a very similar scenario to what we just had. And we can check Bamba now at left wing and see how much does he go for at that position. Not 1,200, but he does go for about 2,000 maybe if we're lucky. Let's go ahead and buy a cheap Bamba card, and we'll list him for 1,800 again. I just kind of found these 2 cards with my first 2 searches. Eventually, you're going to find a card that's working super, super well, super consistently, and a lot of times it's because there's a squad building challenge out that needs that certain card. Like one of the most successful ones I did this year with this trading method was with Azpilicueta. I actually got an Azpilicueta. He's naturally a center back, but I moved him to right back instead. And right backs from Premier League were super expensive at the time. So he was selling for upwards of 2K profit per card. They sold within 5 minutes each time. And as you guys can see, they both sold on the market. Griffo took a little longer to sell. It was about 25 minutes before he sold. Bamba sold in about 3 minutes. So if I were to do it again, I'd probably go with another Bamba, but I probably wouldn't do Griffo again just because it took a little longer to sell that card. Now, if you're going to list it overnight, you might as well go ahead and take another 1,000 coins for Griffo, just taking a little longer to sell. So that's kind of what I would do moving forward. But let's talk about medium budget now. If you got a little bit more coins, let's talk about Diatta. This card right here, I sold for 26,000 coins, but if you take a look at what his price is over on Futbin, well, it's not even close to 26,000 coins on the market. And I sold this one for about 26,000 coins as well. And they have both sold once each in the last 2 times I've listed these cards. So I've bought a ton of them, and as you guys can see, I got them at a good time. 16,000 coins. Very low risk investment because 86 rated cards in general are normally not even that low, let alone informs that go out of packs. So it's a card that is safe long term. So I want to stress that you want to do this method with a card that isn't risky at all. So a card that is close to SBC fodder fits that category. It's not going to drop over time because of the power curve changing. It's always going to be safe to have because SBCs are always going to need 86 rated cards. So that Diatta was a safe investment from the get-go, but I've been listing for more than what it goes for at 26,000 coins, 28,000 coins, etc. And all I do is I click refresh and I list that card for another hour. And they're all listed all at once right here. Now, a lot of people will go through and list them one by one by one by one, so they're scattered throughout a few minutes, but it works either way. And what happens is anybody who is lazy buying these cards, which means that they're going to a squad building challenge and they're just searching the card right there, and they're not actually looking really hard on the transfer market for a card. So they might look at the first page, they'll scroll across, find the cheapest card on the first page and buy that one. But because these are all listed at the exact same time, the first 2 pages that they will see are my cards, and they're all listed for more than what it actually goes for. So they won't see a card that's listed for 21,000 or 20,000 coins. They'll only see the cards listed for 25K. They'll assume, okay, this card for 25.5K is the cheapest I can find, and I'll buy that right there. So you're selling those cards to lazy buyers to get even more profit. Now, I could sell right now for 5K profit per card as it is, and they'd sell immediately, but I'm getting an extra 5K out of it to maximize my profit by combining my investment with the lazy buyer method as well. Now, this is also very similar to another trading method called Tech Avion. Tech Avion is a method in which you would get a medium budget card, like Diatta maybe, a card that people want to use in their team, but nothing more than like 80,000 coins. And what you'll do is you'll juice that card up. For example, if you've got maybe this Tammy Abraham right here. This is just a rough example because it's a card that I see right here, but this Tammy Abraham might go for, let's say, 40,000 coins on the market. But if I add a Hunter card to it and then stack it with contracts, it does become a little bit more appealing to the buyer. And it makes it so that people will spend a little bit more to get that Tammy Abraham with a Hunter card on it. And a lot of times they will spend a ridiculous amount more just because they are lazy. And so you can make even more coins by combining an investment with the lazy buyer method, with Tech Avion, and just maximize each card's profit. So a card you might be making 5,000 coins on, you can turn into 8K per card or 10K per card, as you can see right here. We're going to continue to go higher budget in this video as we go along. And so let's go ahead and combine 3 different trading methods into one. The first one is fluctuation trading. The second one is complement link investing. And the third one is out of pack investing. And so all of those are good trading methods in their own regards. They have their own perks, but if you can find cards that check each category, you can maximize your profits. And so as you can see here, Vitinha kind of fits each category. It might not be the perfect example, but it is a card that I think is good enough to invest in. And so I've got these cards for about 275, 276. I've got 5 of them now. And so I am going to hopefully get at the bottom of their fluctuation and find a complement link and then hold them until they go out of pack so I can check all 3 categories. So let's go ahead and take a look at fluctuation trading first. And the best cards to find that are good for fluctuation trading are oftentimes the cards that are on the front page of FUTBIN, because these are the cards that are looked at the most, they're the most popular, they're the cards that are getting bought the most and sold the most on the market. And so right now, as you can see, Vitinha is one of the most popular cards, and the most popular tradable card is Hakimi right now. And if we take a look at his card, it's 370,000 coins. It came out yesterday, but I bet if we look at his card every hour, we're going to find an opportunity to where we could have picked up at the bottom of his fluctuation and sold at the top, all within the first day. And if you take a look down here, yep, there it is. So you can look at his hourly graph and you can see he was 415K during the first hour. Then he dropped all the way as low as 350,000 coins for an average for that hour. And then he rose up to nearly 400,000 coins. He's on his way back down, 370. He might go even lower. He'll probably bounce back at some point tomorrow. And so it's a really good card to fluctuation trade with. And if we take a look at Vitinha, who's been out a little bit longer, we can probably see the same thing, especially throughout a couple of days. He gets to a low point right here on Monday. He rises up. On Tuesday, he comes back down, and right now, he's at 275K, which is where I picked up a couple of these cards, and we're getting close to weekend league rewards, or not weekend league rewards, division rival rewards. And with division rival rewards, you have a little bit of panic selling, uneasy, people don't want to buy. And then once those rewards come out, you have 1, people aren't afraid to buy anymore. 2, you have more buying power, and it's going to shoot those cards up in price a little bit. So I think for cards like any of these future stars, they're going to spike up in fluctuation. So that's the first step. We're going to pick up a card like this, but we know that at 275K, the most he's gotten is 300K. Even with fluctuation trading, we're probably only making a maximum of 5 to 10K per card. So why is Vitinha good? It's because he also gets a complement link investment. Now, this weekend, his complement link is going to be anybody who gets Achraf Hakimi in one of their red player picks or as an untradeable pack. If anybody gets Hakimi as a choice in their red player picks on the weekend league rewards, and it's very easy to get red picks in weekend league, and every few people might get the choice of Hakimi, it's definitely going to go into their starting squad just because Hakimi is a really, really good card. It's very meta. It's ahead of the power curve still. In terms of informs, it's one of the best we've had in the last couple of months. And what does that link to? Vitinha through PSG. So with that, I think it's going to shoot the PSG links up just a little bit. And of course, you've also got that Sergio Ramos SBC out. Now, with complement link investing, it really comes down to which objective cards and which SBC cards come out in the game. Not only that, but also which ones are good value. Now, every single couple days, a new squad building challenge comes out. And if we take a look at these SBCs, we can find a direct correlation between the release of these SBCs and the cards that link to them. So if we take a look at, let's say, Quinten Timber, a good SBC that came out today, he's Dutch and he's in Eredivisie. So if you take a look at cards like Dirk Kuyt, he's gone up in price today because he gets a link to this card. If you take a look at any Dutch players, even Virgil van Dijk has gone up in price due to this Timber card releasing. So with that being said, we're getting more profit off of these cards that complement Link Invest. But that's not the final thing about this Vitinha. Out-of-pack investing is also a way to trade in FIFA 23 Ultimate Team. And for FUT Future Stars, you can see on your screen, they are available for another 1 day and 10 hours. So after that, they're going out of packs, which means that the supply from the store and from any packs anybody gets out of SBCs will be cut off. That doesn't mean the demand disappears, though. Sure, the demand might go down a little bit over time as people get hyped for new promo cards and all that, but this Vitinha card fits our other categories. So I think the demand is going to stay there a pretty decent amount. It needs a link to the Hakimi, who is going to be packed in a lot of weekend league rewards. It needs a link to Sergio Ramos, who people are still completing out of squad building challenges, etc. Ligue 1 and PSG always has hype, and we saw what happened to Renato Sanchez's ones to watch card at the beginning of the year. That thing skyrocketed in price, and Vitinha doesn't look too dissimilar to it. So that is a card that I think checks all three categories, even if just a little bit. So that is how we make our investments sort of more middle budget, but definitely makes us a lot of profit. The next trading method, the higher budget you have, the better. If you have 10 million, great. If you have 5 million, great. If you have 2 million, still pretty good. You can make this work. If you have less than 1 million coins, you could probably buy one card, but it isn't going to work spectacularly. This is for higher budget trading, but it works very quickly and very, very effectively. You can make upwards of 200,000 coins every single hour using this method, but it only works on the first day release of a new promo or a new card. And you're looking for the cards that are more expensive, more rare, higher rated. This week, that was Mykhailo Mudryk and Julian Alvarez, the FUT Future Stars cards. And I'll be honest, this week it worked far less than what it has in the last 2 months. If we take a look back at Winter Wildcards, when we did this with Winter Wildcards Benzema, then when we look at FUT Centurions, when we did this with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, then when we look at Team of the Year, and we did this with Team of the Year icon David Beckham and Benzema, etc. And then we did this with the midfielders, defenders, etc. It works pretty much every single time with a new promo. And here is the fluctuation for Mykhailo Mudryk on day one. And the great thing that FUTBIN has added is that you can see this and look at any of the cards that have been released in the last 2 weeks and see what they did on their first day. Now, obviously, hour number one, unless you're coming at a promo where everybody has saved packs, hour number one's never going to be the cheapest price. You don't want to buy an hour number one. And then after a few hours, you can see he hits a low point at about 1.6 million coins. Now, I want it to be very understood that that doesn't mean that's the cheapest card that was listed during that hour. You could have gotten a card for 1.5 million if you sniped it, and 1.55 probably wasn't that hard to snipe during these 2 hours, and you can get a pretty good deal there. And then as you guys can see, it rises up into the rarity of the night. Now, it didn't rise a ton, so if you got for 1.55 or 1.56 mil and then sold for about 1.7 million coins during that rise, then maybe you'd make about 60, 70K profit, probably more likely to be about 40K profit on that flip. But as you guys can see, it did not take very long for that to happen. And it was, still a pretty significant rise over the course of those hours. So you've got to time it right. You've got to see, okay, they've hit their bottom and they're starting to stop dropping. Once they stop dropping for like an hour and a half, you're like, okay, they've probably hit their low point. It's time to buy. And then once they start rising, as you can see, it's very quick that they go up. And it's also important that you don't get greedy. During the night, they get rare. There's not a lot of cards getting listed. Europe is asleep. USA is asleep. So main markets of the people who play on FIFA are asleep. There's not a lot of cards on the market, sometimes only less than one page of cards on the market. And so when you list that card, there's not a lot of competition, and that's why you're getting so many more coins when you sell it. If we take a look at Julian Alvarez, we can kind of see a similar thing. Julian Alvarez, his card on day number 1, if we take a look at it, you can see it actually rose initially, but we're looking at this second dip right here. So it was at 2.4 mil. It dropped all the way down to, I saw several cards for 2.1 million coins and less. I actually got in at about 2.1 million coins, and I was able to sell that card for about 2.25 million. That's when I sold. So in the end, I made myself about 50,000 coins in the end. It wasn't a ton. Now, when I flipped Benzema, Winter Wildcard, about a month ago, I made about 400,000 coins on one card because his card went from about 2 million coins to like 2.5 million coins. And we saw David Beckham, he went from, I don't know what it was. I think it was like 2.1 million coins to 2.9 million coins during these couple of hours. So with certain promos, it works better. But even in this promo where it didn't work perfectly, we still ended up making profit. It was very quick. And of course, you want to sell before it starts dropping. And you've got plenty of time to sell these cards before that, inevitable drop going into the second day. You just got to make sure you're not holding that card into the content of the next day. That would be a very, very dumb move. But every single dot you see here is an hour. So you've got 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour to sell for profit. And then you've got another 1, 2, 3 hours to sell for, getting your coins back or a small loss. So even if you miss that, you can still get your coins back before it drops heavily. But don't be dumb and not list that card and not sell it. So that is the one thing that you don't want to do. And these cards dropped a lot more than others. So I think that also impacted the way it didn't go up a ton. It was super overpriced on day 1. So it didn't work quite as well. But if we take a look at some of the cards from previous promos, like Benzema and Beckham and all of that, it works very, very well. It works pretty consistently as well. All you have to do is time it right. Now, as I said, if you have a more medium budget and not a ton more coins, you can still do this method with some of the cheaper cards. As you can see with Gavi, he went down to about 730,000 coins and rose up to 790,000 coins. So after tax, you're getting about 20K profit on that card. And when it comes down to the ratio of investment to profit, Gavi was actually slightly better than Julian Alvarez. You could have bought 3 Gavi instead of 1 Julian Alvarez and actually made like 20,000 more coins. And again, this didn't work as well with FUT Future Stars as it did with other promos. This could be much more profit for you guys for Team 2 of FUT Future Stars or the next promo that does end up coming out. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to slap a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new for more trading tips. And the secret comment word of the day is awesome. If you use that word in your comment anywhere, or that can just be your comment, that one word, awesome, I will make sure to drop a heart on your comment. I really appreciate you guys making it to the end of the video and supporting my content. And I'll see you guys again in tomorrow's video. Peace out.